The Blackclaw Fang was where monsters came to play, and where trouble always arrived on four paws. Vampires drank beside werewolves, witches traded favors with demons, assassins, rogues, and outcasts crowded the dimly lit bar beneath flickering amber lights, and every single one of them knew one rule. The corner seat at the bar belonged to Zara Blackclaw, Alpha of the Blackclaw Panther Pride. No one sat there, ever. Which was why the entire room went quiet when Zara stepped through the door and saw a stranger occupying it. Not just any stranger, Danjuma Eze, the city's most feared Mafia lord. Several of his men stood nearby in tailored black suits, their expressions cold and watchful. A few patrons immediately looked away. Others pretended to focus on their drinks. Nobody wanted to witness what happened next. Zara strode across the room. The click of her boots echoed through the silence. She stopped beside him.
You're in my seat.
Danjuma didn't even glance her way. He took a slow sip of whiskey. Am I? At the sound of his voice, her panther surged forward, slamming against her ribs. She forced it back down. A muscle twitched in Zara's jaw. The bartender suddenly found the counter fascinating. She tapped the polished wood. Once.
Move!
Several of Danjuma's men instantly stiffened, drawing their guns at her. For a second, nobody breathed. Then Zara laughed, actually laughed, rich and amused.
You brought armed men to a bar full of predators. You're either brave or just stupid.
One of the bodyguards glared. You should watch your mouth. Zara's golden eyes flashed.
And you should lower your gun before I make you eat it.
The room collectively held its breath. The men only made it worse by forming a circle around her. Clearly, they'd never heard the phrase, "Never corner a panther." In a blur of motion, Zara ripped the weapons from their hands and snapped them in half. Metal clattered across the floor. Gasps filled the room. His men stumbled back, staring at the ruined guns in disbelief. Then finally, Danjuma turned, and Zara forgot what she was about to say. Damn, that was not what she'd expected. Dark hair, sharp cheekbones, eyes the colour of expensive whiskey. The kind of face that belonged on magazine covers, not at the head of a criminal empire. He held her gaze, then waved his men back. They hesitated, before melting into the shadows. A slow smile touched his lips. Now that's how you enter a room. Zara caught herself staring. It was annoying. Like what you see. He winked. It only made it worse.
Get off my seat.
Zara stepped in front of him and grabbed his collar, pulling him up. He didn't even look surprised. If anything, he looked amused. I forgot how strong you are. Zara. A puzzled look crossed her face. Her grip loosened. Then, she was no longer standing. She was sitting on his lap. A faint smirk tugged at his mouth. You know, he said quietly, his voice brushing her ear. Most women buy me dinner first. Everything in her stilled. For exactly 1 second, Zara stared at him. She should have been glaring. She should have gotten off his lap. Instead, cedar wood, cut with something warm underneath. It lingered at the edge of her awareness, like restraint trying not to break. Even her panther seemed interested. This felt dangerous. She rose smoothly from his lap, adjusted her jacket, then looked down at him.
You know, most men would love to leave my bar with both hands.
Silence fell in the room. A vampire at the far end immediately looked away. Danjuma's smile widened. There she is. Zara folded her arms.
Who?
A slow smile touched his lips. The woman who forgot me. A few patrons exchanged glances. She rolled her eyes.
Who is this unlucky woman?
You, Zara. She studied him. For the first time all night, his expression shifted. You don't remember me? It wasn't a question. She frowned.
No?
Something flickered across his face. Gone before it could settle. You promised you would. He stood, straightened his jacket, turned toward the exit. His men immediately fell into formation behind him. The room stayed frozen. Halfway to the door, he stopped. Danjuma glanced back over his shoulder. Their eyes met across the bar. A decade ago, you wouldn't have looked at me like I was a stranger. A chill slid through her. Not fear. Something else. Something familiar. Then he left. The doors shut behind him. Silence settled over the Blackclaw fang. Every head turned toward Zara. For the first time in years, the Alpha of the Blackclaw pride had no idea whether she'd just won a battle or started a war. A decade ago, you wouldn't have looked at me like a stranger. The words kept replaying in Zara's mind. Danjuma. The name landed harder than it should have. Her panther had stirred at the sound of it. A reaction she didn't choose. Did her beast recognize him from the past? If it did, why couldn't she? Zara shifted her stance by the balcony railing. There was nothing to recognize, nothing she should be reacting to. So why did her body react like it already knew him? Her fingers tightened at her side. Briefly, what business would a Mafia boss have with her anyway? He was human. She was a shifter. They were from two separate worlds. She shut the thought down immediately, but the feeling didn't leave. It stayed. Then she smelled him. Cedar and amber. Wait. Was he here? Was he watching her? She looked down from the balcony. Empty street. She exhaled slowly. Danjuma was messing with her head. And she hated it. The scent drew closer. Too close. Her body reacted before her mind did. A heartbeat, off rhythm. Not faster, just wrong. Zara turned. Slowly. Danjuma Eze stood behind her, close enough that the air between them didn't feel empty anymore. The city noise seemed further away now. Even the wind had changed direction. Her panther pressed forward once in her chest, then stilled, like it knew something she didn't. Zara didn't move back, neither did he step forward. The space between them stayed unchanged, but it didn't feel neutral anymore.
What are you doing here, Danjuma?
Her voice was steady, controlled. He didn't answer immediately. His jaw tightened. I shouldn't have come. Zara's eyes stayed on him.
That's not an answer.
Then he exhaled and pushed a hand through his hair, like he was trying to hold something in place. I finally found you. His expression softened, just slightly, and I refused to let you disappear again. Zara frowned.
Look, Danjuma, whatever you think happened between us, I don't remember. So stop this.
She paused. Those words hit him harder than he expected. For a second, something cracked in his expression. He didn't respond right away. Then, quietly, you always did say things like that when you were scared of remembering. He looked away first. Then he reached into his pocket. A chain caught the light, half a moon pendant. He placed it in her hand. The second the necklace touched her skin, her panther became restless. It paced inside her, agitated. Danjuma watched her face carefully. Hope flickered in his eyes. He actually held his breath, waiting. Zara frowned and looked down at it. Nothing. No memories. No answers.
What am I supposed to be looking at?
She asked. His expression fell. You still don't remember? It wasn't a question. Zara's grip tightened slightly around the chain.
I'm sorry.
That made him look away again. His shoulder hit the wall behind him, like it was the only thing keeping him upright. For a moment, he didn't speak. Then, "It's not your fault," he said. He paused. "Just don't say sorry like that." Zara's gaze narrowed slightly.
Look, Danjuma, I think you should leave.
He lifted his head. Something steadied in him again, but it was thinner now. "Chiamaka, I know how confusing this must be." That name made her freeze.
How do you know my name?
She said slowly. His answer came quieter than before. "Because you told me, and you smiled every time I called you that." Zara looked at him. Really looked at him. For the first time, she wasn't seeing the feared Mafia lord. All she saw was a man carrying a hurt she didn't understand. A man who looked a little desperate, not defeated.
Please, just go.
She placed the half-moon necklace back into his palm. Danjuma stared at it for a moment. Then he closed her fingers around it and shook his head. "Keep it." His voice was quiet. "Maybe it'll jog your memory." That night, the necklace followed her into sleep. Half a moon necklace in her hand, another around Danjuma's neck. A field of lilies stretched around them. Endless. Golden. Familiar. He stood across from her, yet the place felt older than memory. Their fingers linked. They smiled at each other, eyes bright with a happiness. No words, only a recognition she couldn't name. When she woke, her chest felt tight. She sat up slowly. Why was she dreaming about a man she didn't know? And why did it feel like she had known him for longer than she had lived this life? A sound outside her door broke the thought. Zara opened it. Danjuma was sitting on the floor outside her room, leaning back against the wall like he belonged there. Her scent hit him before her voice did. He looked up immediately. "You're awake." Zara stared at him.
Did you sleep here?
He stood slowly. "Yes."
You know, this is crazy, right?
"I know."
Then why are you doing it?
"Because I haven't been able to get you out of my mind." Silence filled the space.
For 10 years?
Zara asked, baffled. A sad smile crossed his face. Every single day. Not a hint of doubt in his voice. Zara couldn't stop her eyes from widening. Then he noticed her eyes, tired, puffy, like she hadn't slept at all. He stepped toward her, carefully. Concern flickered across his face. "You didn't sleep." The observation caught her off guard.
I'm fine.
His gaze lingered on her face. Then his hand lifted toward her hair, as though reaching for something familiar. A stubborn lock of hair stuck out at an odd angle from sleep. For a brief second, his fingers hovered near it, ready to smooth it back into place. Then he caught himself. She didn't remember him in this life, not anymore. His hand dropped to his side. Zara frowned.
What?
Nothing, but it clearly wasn't nothing. He looked like he wanted to say more. Instead, he nodded, though he didn't look convincing.
So, lovely chat, but I have things to attend to.
Zara said flatly. He didn't move. She glanced at him.
Do you intend to stay here all day?
Yes. His voice was calm. "I'm not losing you again." Zara exhaled through her nose.
My pack is already talking.
She paused, then added.
Why don't you go for now? We can talk later.
He looked at her thoughtfully. "On one condition." Her eyes narrowed. She was already tired of hearing that phrase.
Not this again.
"If I leave, you'll let me take you somewhere." She hesitated. Right now, she'd do almost anything to get him to leave. She gave a small nod. His expression shifted, just slightly. Not relief. Something closer to hope. By noon, rumors of a Mafia lord and their Alpha had spread across the territory. Binta, the beta hurried into Zara's chambers. Alpha, the pack is in chaos. Zara looked up.
Chaos? Why?
They're wondering why the city's most feared Mafia lord was seen at the pack house. Binta folded her arms. Some think a war is coming. She paused for a brief moment, then continued. Others think he's trying to take over our territory.
Go tell them. Neither is happening.
Binta nodded but didn't leave. Instead, she sat on the edge of the bed. What's really going on between you two, Alpha? Zara let out a long sigh.
I honestly don't know.
What does he want? Binta asked, glancing at her Alpha and best friend.
He believes we knew each other.
Binta frowned. Did you?
That's the problem.
Zara reached for the necklace.
I don't remember him at all.
That's strange.
I know.
She handed over the pendant. Binta studied it carefully. Then her eyes narrowed. Wait, she turned it over. Tiny lettering had been engraved near the bottom. A date. Look, Zara moved closer. The two of them stared down at the inscription. February 2nd, 2016. Zara traced the numbers with her thumb. Nothing came. No memory. No flash of recognition. Nothing. This date must mean something, Binta said. Zara remained silent. It means he wasn't lying. Binta looked up. He had this made 10 years ago. Her gaze returned to the necklace. And he's kept it all this time. The thought settled heavily in the room.
Then, why can't I remember?
Zara whispered. Her fingers tightened around the pendant.
Why does it feel like there's a piece missing?
Binta reached over and squeezed her hand. I think you should hear him out. Zara looked up.
You've heard stories like this?
Binta nodded. A few.
What happened?
The man gets trapped in the past. Her voice softened. He carries the memories, the weight of knowing someone exists and can't be reached.
And the woman?
She only remembers the life she's living now.
She doesn't feel his pain?
Binta shook her head. Not exactly.
Then what?
She doesn't understand why it hurts when it shouldn't. Binta paused. And he carries everything. While she walks through the world oblivious to it. Silence fell between them. Zara stared down at the necklace. For the first time, she thought about Danjuma, not the Mafia lord. Not the man who refused to leave her alone. The man who had looked at her like losing her had nearly destroyed him. How long had he been carrying this alone? 5 hours later, the distant rumble of an engine rolled through the courtyard. Zara stepped outside. A black motorcycle came to a stop in front of the mansion. Danjuma removed his helmet. She stared, then stared some more.
No.
His mouth twitched with amusement. Oh, come on.
No.
Just get on. Zara folded her arms.
You realize I'm the alpha of a pack, right?
I do.
And you want me riding around the city on the back of your bike?
He chuckled.
What will people say?
I've never cared much about what people think. A grin appeared on his face. Besides, you used to love riding with me, Chiamaka. She narrowed her eyes.
You are making things up now.
His laugh was warm. Am I? Before she could respond, he placed a helmet in her hands. She looked at it, then back at him, then sighed, loudly.
This is a terrible idea.
Probably, he added. Get on anyway. Against her better judgment, she did. A second later, the motorcycle shot forward. Instinctively, her hands grabbed his waist. Zara was used to being the one in control, yet sitting behind Danjuma felt surprisingly easy. Familiar, somehow. Like something she'd done countless times before. And tonight, for the first time in a long while, It felt good to simply sit back and trust someone else. The city lights blurred around them. Wind rushed through her hair. For once, Zara stopped thinking, stopped analysing, stopped trying to make sense of him. She simply allowed herself live in the moment, something she hadn't realised she'd been missing. Danjuma smiled. "You enjoying this?" he called over the wind.
A little.
"A little?" Danjuma teased. "Don't push it." That only made him laugh harder. Shortly after, Danjuma pulled up beside the bridge. They climbed off the bike. Zara looked around.
What are we doing here?
"This is where we met." She blinked.
On a bridge?
He nodded. Without thinking, he reached for her hand, then stopped himself mid-motion, pulling back as though the air had burned him. "I'm sorry." He rubbed the back of his neck. I don't want to overwhelm you. Tell me if I'm being too much." Zara gave a small nod. They walked together to the edge of the bridge and looked down at the water below. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Danjuma broke the silence. 10 years ago, I was driving down this road when my car started swerving. His gaze stayed fixed on the river. I hit the brakes, but nothing happened. Zara frowned. They'd been cut. A heavy silence fell between them. "I tried to get out," he continued, "but the seatbelt jammed. The car hit the railing and went over." Zara's breath caught.
Oh, God.
She whispered, pressing a hand to her mouth. He nodded once. "I remember the impact," he said quietly. A breath. Then water. His voice dropped further. "I was blacking out when I felt someone pull me out of the wreckage." His eyes shifted to her. "I woke up the next morning with you kneeling beside me," he said softly. "You looked very pleased with yourself." That earned a small laugh from her. "And then you forced me to drink those awful herbs." That made Zara smile. "You don't remember, do you?" She shook her head. Something flickered across his face. Disappointment, gone just as quickly as it came. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Zara studied him, really studied him, at the weight he had been carrying. For 10 years, because of her. Slowly, she reached for his hand. Not thinking, just feeling. A small gesture, but it changed everything. His fingers closed around hers immediately, tight, like a lifeline. Like after 10 years, he still wasn't entirely convinced she was really there. They stood there for a moment, looking out at the open sky. The silence between them was comfortable, not awkward. Danjuma didn't let go of her hand as they walked back toward the bike. A beat passed between them. Then he lifted her helmet, pausing as he looked at her. "You're so beautiful, Zara," he said quietly. "You always have been. I think you've only gotten more beautiful with time." Zara felt heat rise to her cheeks. She turned her face away slightly. "Don't look away from me, Chemaka." The way he pronounced her name actually made her smile. Gently, he tilted her chin back toward him. "I mean it," he said softer now. "Zara." His eyes held hers. For a moment, she didn't speak. Then she exhaled. "We should get back, Danjuma." A small nod. "Yeah," he said. "Okay." The following day, a bouquet of white lilies was delivered to Zara's chambers. She opened the box. The scent hit her first. Soft, clean, freshly cut. Her breath caught, just slightly. Deep inside her, her panther stirred.
Lilies.
She unfolded the note attached. "I hope they are still your favourite." No name. Behind her, Binta leaned in. "Those are beautiful." Zara didn't answer. She stared at them. Too long. Her fingers hovered over the petals before finally touching one. Cool silk. She plucked a flower from the bouquet. And then, a flicker. Not a memory. Not fully. A feeling. Warm sunlight, a hand holding hers, a voice she couldn't quite hear, a laugh, low, close, like it belonged beside her. Zara blinked hard. The room vanished for half a second, replaced by something else. A field of white stretching endlessly beneath a bright sky. Flowers swaying in the wind. A man standing among them. Watching her with a grin so familiar it made her chest ache. He reached for her. She reached back. But somehow the distance between them never closed. Her chest tightened. Pain lanced through her so suddenly she stumbled backward. The lily slipped from her fingers. "Zara," Binta's voice sharpened instantly. "What is it?"
Hi.
Her throat tightened. Nothing came out right. The image was already fading, like smoke pulled through fingers. Gone. Just like that. Zara stared at the box again, breathing a little too carefully now.
I don't know.
Binta immediately picked up the bouquet, but Zara's hands were shaking now, like her body remembered something her mind refused to hold.
Get Danjuma now.
"Yes, Alpha." Binta hurried toward the door. The moment it closed, Zara sank onto the edge of the bed. Her heart was still racing. The image wouldn't leave her. A field of white. A man smiling, reaching for her, unable to reach her. Why had that hurt? Why had it felt real? A sharp knock interrupted Alpha. "The elders seek your urgent attention." The council chambers were already tense when Zara stepped inside. Her parents and the elders were arguing at the top of their voices. The moment she entered, silence fell. Zara walked calmly to her seat.
What's happening here?
Elder Vera was the first to speak. "We've heard you've been seen with that Mafia lord." Zara raised an eyebrow.
If you are trying to accuse me of something, Elder Vera, say it with your full chest.
"No one is accusing you, Alpha. But his presence around our territory is creating unnecessary attention." Elder Charles cut in. A snort escaped her.
Since when do you care about what people say, Elder Charles?
"That's different."
Please, enlighten me.
Charles straightened. "You're our Alpha.
And
You have a responsibility to protect the interests of your people." Zara leaned back in her chair. "I still fail to see the problem." A murmur passed through the room. Charles exchanged a glance with Vera. "Personal relationships with a crime lord have consequences, Alpha." Zara's eyes narrowed.
get to the point.
"You have a responsibility to protect the interests of your people." Vera spoke before Charles could. "Are you two lovers?" The room went still. "Because if you are, we cannot allow it." Zara's eyes narrowed.
And who are you to decide that?
"An Alpha is expected to choose from our own kind," Vera said firmly. "Our traditions exist for a reason. That Mafia lord has no place in the future of this pack." Before Zara could respond, her mother spoke. "Our daughter can see whoever she wants." Several elders shifted uncomfortably. Zara rose to her feet.
Wonderful.
She looked around the room.
If we are done discussing my personal life,
Her gaze swept over the elders.
meeting adjourned.
Without waiting for their response, she turned and headed for the door. She had almost reached it when Elder Vera muttered, "We can't let this happen again." Zara halted. Every instinct inside her sharpened. Slowly, she turned around.
What did you just say?
The room fell silent. Elder Charles shot Vera a warning look. Vera suddenly seemed fascinated by the floor. Zara's voice dropped, dangerously calm.
I asked a question.
"Nothing, Alpha," Charles said smoothly. Vera was simply thinking out loud. Zara's eyes never left Vera.
I wasn't talking to you, Charles.
The elder immediately fell silent.
What can't happen again?
Zara asked. Vera swallowed. For the first time since Zara had entered the room, the elder looked uncomfortable. Before she could answer, hurried footsteps echoed through the chamber. The doors burst open. Binta rushed inside. Alpha. She was slightly out of breath. He's here. The room immediately tensed. Zara's heart skipped. Her gaze lingered on Vera for another second. She hesitated, only briefly. Then she walked out without another word. Zara found Danjuma in the garden. The moment he saw her expression, his smile faded. Something was wrong. She stopped beside him.
Thank you for coming.
Of course. Then she looked straight at him.
I need to know everything.
Danjuma nodded.
What were we, Danjuma?
His gaze softened. We were in love.
For how long?
3 years. Her heart skipped.
And before I disappeared?
A shadow crossed his face. I proposed. Silence settled between them.
Did I leave you?
His answer came immediately. No.
Then what happened?
Pain flickered across his features. That's the problem, Chimaka. His voice dropped. I don't know. Zara studied him carefully, looking for hesitation, for deception, for anything. She found nothing. After a moment she spoke.
I think the elders are hiding something.
His attention sharpened. What happened? She crossed her arms.
One of them slipped.
Danjuma frowned. What did they say? Zara looked away briefly.
We can't let this happen again.
Silence. Danjuma's expression darkened. And? They don't want me around you. He fell silent, thinking. The garden grew quiet. Then Zara spoke.
I feel like they know something. I just can't pinpoint what.
Danjuma was silent for a moment. I know you need answers. She looked at him. But I don't want you confronting anyone yet. Her eyes narrowed.
Why?
If the elders are involved, we need evidence first. His voice remained calm. Otherwise, they'll cover their tracks faster than you can shift. Zara hated how much sense that made. Slowly, she exhaled.
Fine.
For now, she added. He gave her a faint smile. For now. He gently squeezed her hand. She smiled back, feeling some of her frustration melt away.
For a Mafia lord, you seem to have lots of patience.
He chuckled. Comes with the territory. Zara raised an eyebrow. His gaze softened. I waited 10 years, Chimaka. He paused. A few more months won't make much difference. She placed her hand over his. She still couldn't remember those 10 years, but she understood the pain in his voice. At noon the following day, a child's laughter echoed across the courtyard. Zara was walking through the garden, deep in thought, barely noticing anything around her. Then a little girl, about 6 years old, ran past, waving something in her hand. It caught Zara's eye. Silver. Moon-shaped. Half. Her breath stopped. The missing half. No. It couldn't be. The girl ran past again, giggling. Zara moved before she realized it. She stopped in front of the child. The girl looked up at her Alpha with wide eyes. Zara crouched slightly, her heart already hammering.
Hi, sweetie. Where did you get that?
The girl smiled. My grandma's room. The world tilted. Zara recognized her instantly. Blessing. Vera's granddaughter. Shock flashed across her face, but it was quickly controlled. She forced a small smile.
Can I take a look?
The girl hesitated, then held it out. Zara took it carefully. Her fingers closed around the pendant. It matched the cut, the shape, even the faint engraving on the back. February 2nd, 2016. Her throat tightened. Then, with careful control, she removed a royal bracelet from her wrist.
I'll trade you.
The girl hesitated, then held out the pendant. Zara took it carefully. The girl's eyes widened. I like white, she said proudly. It's my favourite colour. Zara gave a soft laugh.
Me too.
She placed the bracelet in the child's hand. The girl squealed and ran off shouting, "Look what the Alpha gave me!" Zara stayed still, fingers curling tightly around the pendant. Then her expression hardened.
Binta.
Her tone turned authoritative. Her beta appeared instantly. Alpha.
Lock down the kingdom.
Binta nodded.
No one enters. No one leaves.
Hours later, Elder Vera was dragged before the throne. The pendant rested on Zara's lap. Vera's face paled when she saw it, before settling into false calm.
Do you recognize this, Elder Vera?
Vera shook her head. No, Alpha. Zara leaned forward slightly.
Then why was it in your granddaughter's possession?
Vera shrugged. Children find strange things. A murmur passed through the chamber. Zara snorted.
Interesting answer.
Silence filled the room. Vera denied it. Again and again. Zara finally turned her head.
Bring the seer.
Alpha, that is not necessary, Vera began, her voice tightening. Zara's gaze sharpened.
Binta. Seer. Now.
Binta stepped forward immediately. Yes, Alpha. Moments later, the old seer entered. She accepted both halves of the pendant. The chamber fell silent. Slowly, she brought them together. Click. A pulse of silver light exploded outward. Gasps filled the room. The glow was blinding. Then, darkness, silence. The seer opened her eyes. The necklace was cursed. Her gaze shifted and landed on Vera, and she knows everything. Vera went pale. Zara's control snapped. 10 years. 10 years of stolen memories. 10 years of her life erased. Her alpha aura exploded through the room. Every shifter dropped to their knees. Even the air felt heavier. Vera buckled under the pressure. Binta drew her sword. Speak now, she said coldly, or lose your head. Everything unraveled after that. The confessions, the names, Elder Charles, Elder Jane, Elder Timothy, almost half the council, dragged forward, exposed. They admitted it. They feared Danjuma, feared the love they shared, feared losing control of the Alpha's future. So they stole the necklace, bound a memory curse to it, separated the halves, and tore two people apart. For 10 years. Zara ordered them all imprisoned, then turned to the seer. How do we break it? The seer's voice was calm. The Alpha and the man must meet me at the boundary between your territories. Zara nodded once. By midnight, Zara and Danjuma stood together, each holding a half of the pendant. The seer spoke softly, guiding them. Place the pendants around each other's necks. Zara stepped forward. Danjuma did the same. Carefully, they placed the pendants around each other's necks. The moment the pieces were joined, a white light burst outward, then vanished. Silence. Nothing happened. Zara frowned.
That's it?
The seer gave a small smile. The mind heals in its own time. Disappointment lingered in the air. The ritual ended. One by one, they left, except Danjuma. He stepped closer, taking Zara's hand gently. Patience, darling, he said softly. Everything will fall into place. He kissed her forehead, then left. The next morning, Zara rode alone, trying to clear her head. The air was cool, still peaceful. Her panther paced restlessly beneath her skin. Then, pain, sharp, Violent. Zara gasped, her horse reared, and then memories, a bridge, laughter, a motorcycle, lilies, Danjuma smiling, Danjuma bleeding, a proposal, hand shaking. Yes, 10 years, all of it, crashed into her at once. Zara nearly fell. Tears streamed down her face.
Oh God, I remember.
Everything. Every kiss, every fight, every promise, every loss. She turned her horse and ran. Danjuma was speaking to his men when the sound of hooves thundered across the courtyard. He turned. A rider. Too fast, too familiar. His breath caught. Jamaka? Zara jumped down before the horse stopped and ran. Straight into him. He caught her instantly. The force of her impact pushed him back a step, like he had been waiting his whole life to do it again. Her arms wrapped around him tightly, not letting go. Tears soaked his shirt. He froze, afraid to believe it, afraid to hope. Then she looked up and smiled. I remember. His knees almost gave out. I remember everything. For a moment, neither moved. 10 years. Gone? Returned? Danjuma cupped her face. You know who I am? Zara laughed through tears.
Yes, babe.
Her fingers brushed his cheek.
You are my darling Mafia boss.
A soft laugh escaped him. That's my girl. And then they kissed. Hard, urgent, like time had never existed. When they finally broke apart, he smiled against her lips. Someone missed me, he said quietly. Zara smiled back.
I'm making up for lost time.
I love you, Zara, now and forever.
I love you too, Danjuma.
They walked through his estate, holding hands. This time, nothing between them was missing anymore. 3 months later, the kingdom had finally settled. The traitorous elders had been stripped of their titles. New council members had taken their place. For the first time in years, peace felt real. Zara stood on the palace balcony as the sun dipped below the horizon. The evening breeze stirred her hair. Strong arms wrapped around her waist from behind. She smiled before he even spoke. Found you. Danjuma's chin rested lightly on her shoulder.
You say that every time.
I spent 10 years looking for you. His voice was warm. I think I've earned it. A laugh escaped her.
Fair?
For a moment, neither spoke. Below them, the kingdom bustled with life. Children running through the streets, merchants closing their stalls, families returning home. Normal? Beautifully normal. Zara looked down at the necklace resting against her chest. The moon was whole again. No missing pieces, no curse, no secrets, just a simple silver pendant. Danjuma's fingers found it too, his thumb brushing lightly over the joined halves. You know, he said quietly, when I first got this made, I thought it was a little dramatic. Zara turned in his arms.
A little?
A lot. Danjuma chuckled. She laughed. The sound echoed across the balcony. God, he had missed that sound. Danjuma brushed a strand of hair behind her ear. She stared at him for a long moment. His eyes softened. What?
Nothing?
But it wasn't nothing. She was remembering the bridge, the lilies, the motorcycle, every stolen memory, every recovered one. And for the first time, they no longer hurt. They simply belonged to her again.
I love you,
she said. Simple. Certain. Danjuma smiled. The same smile she had fallen in love with 10 years ago. He leaned closer. And I love you more than anything I own. A smile tugged at his lips. More than the breath in my lungs.
Gosh, you are so dramatic.
Zara teased, rolling her eyes. He laughed, then leaned down and kissed her forehead. Below them, the first stars began to appear, Above them, a full moon rose into the night sky, whole, bright, just like them. The end.